एंड लाइव होने के साथ साथ श्रेयस भी आ गया हमारे साथ। एक बार श्रेयस भाई अपना कैमरा और माइक ऑन कर लेना, तो फिर हम आपको भी ऐड कर देते हैं लाइव स्ट्रीम में। तो गाइस, ऑटोट्रॉनिक्स इज बैक। आई थिंक आफ्टर अ हाइएटस ऑफ कितना, 10 महीने। हाँ, 10 महीने के बाद आए हैं हम। और आज सिद्धार्थ भैया हमारे साथ, श्रेयस भी है, श्रेयस को भी स्ट्रीम पे ऐड कर दिया है, तो अलग अलग टॉपिक डिस्कस करेंगे। और अगर लाइव अच्छा लगे तो हमारे साथ इंटरेक्ट करो यहाँ पे कमेंट सेक्शन में, लाइव कमेंट्स में, या उसके बाद भी डाल सकते हो। और लिंक्स मैंने क्या कहते हैं भेज दिए हो, लिंक्स में प्लीज़ क्या कहते हैं अपने दोस्तों को भी शेयर कीजिए। तो पहला टॉपिक शुरू करते हैं। सिद्धार्थ भैया को स्टेज दे दिया, आप अपनी बात रखना शुरू करो, हम क्या कहते हैं मॉडरेशन करते हैं तब तक।
Um, quite a few interesting topics that I would like to put on this podcast. The most ugly thing of having an alliance in the Indian automotive industry. Okay, now I'm talking about the Japanese Duo Alliance. You guys must have seen today that Toyota had revealed something called as a Rumian or Ramayan. I don't know what is it called. It's a Rumian technically, but since its spelling is Rumion, so it has two words. One is the rum, that is the alcoholic drink that you take, and second is the iron. So obviously, it's a very funny name that they've kept. So Rumian is nothing but a cross-patched Ertiga with that Toyota grill, and obviously you would agree that it has one of the best-looking alloy wheels in its class, right? So that alloy wheels are very good-looking in that vehicle. And then it's coming in technically it's coming in three variants, out of which one is a CNG variant, couple of manuals, couple of automatics, right? So mid-level variant does not get CNG or automatic. The base model gets automatic and CNG, and top model only gets manual and automatic mode. So that is how the variant mix has been distributed. And how well are they going to price it depends on how well the public is willing to accept it, right? Obviously, the public doesn't care a shit about what is badged what, looking by the commonality of seeing the Glanzas, the urban cruiser high riders, the even the what was that vehicle, the Convicto or the Invicto, whatever that thing is based on the high cross. So that is, I've also seen a couple of them. In fact, it took me about 20 minutes to realize that I'm following a Suzuki vehicle rather than a Toyota vehicle after seeing the Convicto, right? But the problem is that it is taking the badge engineering that was a curse which General Motors did a decade back. So this curse is really crucifying the Indian automotive industry, right? So quite a lot of cross-batch products we're going to see. Even the Taser is supposed to be coming, which is based on the Fronx, and you never know. It may happen that Toyota can sell the Jimny as an FJ Cruiser, right? So what is your take on it, Tanmay?
No, I am not really a fan of this kind of uh, rebadging. This is basically पब्लिक को उल्लू बनाने की स्कीम। अर्टिगा पे ऑलरेडी इतनी वेटिंग है, अब टोयोटा के हाथ में देती है, वो अलग से अपना प्रीमियम खाएंगे, मारुति वाले अलग से अपना प्रीमियम खाएंगे। इनविक्टो वाले मजाक के साथ भी क्या कहते हैं यही हो रहा है कि इनोवा हाई क्रॉस की डिमांड मीट नहीं कर रहे, लेकिन क्या कहते हैं सुजुकी के बैच से लॉन्च कर रहे हैं। और उससे भी ज़्यादा बड़ी बकचोदी तो ये है कि क्या कहते हैं कि इनविक्टो पे उन्होंने बलेनो के बीज लगा के दे दिए, जो कि मतलब हद हो गई। और इधर एक हमारे साथ बैठे हैं जो क्या कहते हैं इन्विक्टो और टोयोटा की प्रेस करने से हटते नहीं है, दिन भर बस पेड प्रमोशन करते रहते हैं हम, मेरे मुझे फ़ोन कर करके।
हेलो तन्मय, हेलो सिद्धार्थ भैया। काफ़ी टाइम बाद वी आर लाइव अगेन एंड देखकर काफ़ी अच्छा लग रहा है। बैक टू ऑटोट्रॉनिक्स, बैक टू पॉडकास्ट। सो आई वाज लिसनिंग टू सिद्धार्थ भैया's पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू एंड आई थिंक ही इज़ करेक्ट। बात ये कि अगेन मैं अभी सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है तन्मय। तो तो टोयोटा ने भी एकदम से लाइक इट वाज जस्ट सर्टेन कि एकदम से प्रेस रिलीज उन्होंने निकाल दिया कि ओके वी आर डेब्यूइंग दिस एमपीवी इन द इंडियन मार्केट एंड सब कुछ सिमिलर है, जस्ट विद द हाई क्रॉस इंस्पायर्ड फ्रंट लुक जो उन्होंने निकाला आगे से। एंड आई डोंट नो, अभी प्राइजेस शायद फेस्टिव सीजन के अराउंड आएंगे उस टाइम पे, ऐसा कह रहे हैं। तो going by what had happened in the past, with the Invicto, with the Grand Vitara and High Rider, I think Grand Vitara and High Rider are very sensible products as far as I can see. But जब वो Invicto के साथ हुआ, I mean, मुझे जहाँ तक लगता है कि both of these brands and especially Toyota has lost or is in the process of losing their own identity, I would say. क्योंकि अगर एक कंपनी जो सिर्फ उनकी ओरिजिनलिटी में रहा क्या, इनोवा क्रिस्टा एंड फॉर्च्यूनर,
हाई
आई
क्रॉस
एग्री दैट हाँ हाई क्रॉस उनका एक ओरिजिनल प्रोडक्ट है, बट अकॉर्डिंग टू मी हाई क्रॉस फील्स वेरी, कैसे बोलूँ मैं, मतलब वो कॉम्प्रोमाइज प्रोडक्ट लगता है मुझे इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्वालिटी, इन टर्म्स ऑफ बिल्ड, व्हेन यू कंपेयर इट टू द इनोवा क्रिस्टा। इनोवा क्रिस्टा स्टिल फील्स वेरी अप मार्केट एंड उसका इंटीरियर भी मुझे पर्सनली, दिस इज माय पर्सनल ओपिनियन, कि इनोवा क्रिस्टा फील्स वे बेटर देन द इनोवा हाई क्रॉस बिकॉज ऑफ वो बड़ा डीजल इंजन एंड द इंटीरियर्स, जो इंटीरियर में प्लास्टिक्स वगैरह यूज किए हैं एंड वो ओल्ड बॉडी ऑन फ्रेम चैसी, वो एक रीजन रहा है कि व्हाई इट हैज डोमिनेटेड दैट कमर्शियल वाला मार्केट। एंड नाउ विद द हाई क्रॉस, ऑफ कोर्स हाइब्रिड इज अ गुड थिंग जो अभी उन्होंने लाई अभी, बट as far as I can see, Toyota is losing its identity in the market by continuously rebadging and selling Maruti वाले products। and अभी wait, अभी आने वाली है टोयोटा, मारुति का एक और रीबैच प्रोडक्ट वो ला रहे हैं, as far as I've heard। मारुति फ्रॉन्क्स को भी वो शायद रीबैच कर रहे हैं। देयर हैज बीन अ यू नो ट्रेडमार्क, वो किसी
टोयोटा
उसमें,
टल्सोर।
हाँ हाँ, वो भी वो लॉन्च करने
बट
वाले हैं।
बट बताऊं क्या है, फ्रॉन्क्स हो गई, फ्रॉन्क्स को रीबैच कर दिया या फिर अपना ग्रैंड विटारा को रीबैच कर दिया, उसमें एक सेंस इस बात की ना, वो गाड़ियां ग्राउंड अप से बनाई गई हैं, वो दोनों ने कोलैब करके बनाया। अब जैसे ग्रैंड विटारा और हाई राइडर का क्या है, नॉर्मल पेट्रोल इंजन सुजुकी का है, हाइब्रिड सेटअप क्या कहते हैं टोयोटा का है, तो वो एक बात समझ लगती कि दोनों ब्रांड ने मिलकर बनाया, अच्छा प्रोडक्ट है, ठीक है। ये क्या है, ये तो सीधा सीधा दिख रहा है कि क्या कहते हैं, कुछ नहीं, बस उठा के ग्रिल चेंज कर दी, स्टेयरिंग पे लोगो चेंज कर दिए, पीछे का लोगो चेंज कर दिया, नया अलॉय डाल के चलो जी, लगे रहो बेचने।
आई थिंक इट हैज बीन फ्यू इयर्स जब ये टोयोटा रोमियन सेल पे है, नॉट इन इंडिया, इन साउथ अफ्रीका।
हाँ,
सो उन्होंने, मैं तो इस बात से हैरान हूँ कि दे हैवंट पुट आउट एनी टीजर्स, कुछ भी ऐसा, कुछ हाइप नहीं क्रिएट करने की कोशिश की। दे जस्ट रिवील्ड, एकदम से टोयोटा के वेबसाइट पे एकदम से टोयोटा रूमियन आ गई। सो ठीक है। एंड आई थिंक अभी वो सियाज भी उनका सेल पे है बाहर, विद द
बेल्टा।
नेम बेल्टा। हाँ बेल्टा, बेल्टा। तो अकॉर्डिंग टू मी व्हाट टोयोटा इज डूइंग इन इंडिया इज नॉट फेयर। This is my straight out statement.
It is not only fair, it is catastrophically rubbish, I would say. Now imagine a company like used to make legendary products like Land Cruiser. They still have the Land Cruiser on sale. Plus they have the Wellfire on sale. Plus Camry. Plus now if you remove the Innova Cresta, if you remove these four products, everything that you see is a Suzuki, right? Or maybe a a Toyozuki, rather, what we're talking about, right? But this has taken too much of insult for our market. Obviously, for a business perspective, like if I am an entrepreneur running a Toyota dealership, it is a carrot for me to get another MPV. So I have four MPVs to sell: the Rumian, the High Cross, the Wellfire, and the Crista, right? But I also have something like the Urban Cruiser High Rider, the Land Cruiser as two SUVs to sell, right? But the problem is customer comes to my showroom and he sees that everything it's a Toyota, but it doesn't look like a Toyota. It's not as authentic as a Toyota. Okay, leave. I can maybe show him a Hilux. So Hilux already is parked in the front of the showroom to attract and lure chicks and customers. But then when you start to go into the affordable category, that is when you see the grim reality of these cross batch products. But then, even if you remember, Sirish Chandran also had made a very strong statement against that this cross badging should stop at one level. But here, the product planners of both the companies, they're stooping to very low, I mean, I would say very low grade of thinking by just, changing a few bits and pieces here, making in the same assembly line in the same factory, churning out whatever the rubbish you can, and throwing it onto the public's ass, right? Obviously, if the public is going to buy, they're fools to buy it, right? So, पब्लिक का भी कोई इस पे वो नहीं है मतलब पब्लिक टू इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दिस मेस so either the public should stop buying these crossbar Suzukis which they will not because उनके लिए क्या है I'm getting a car with a 5-year warranty instead of the 3 years or the 2 years that Suzuki gives me. I'm getting a car with supposedly better service quality which in reality is maybe not that good. प्लस वो थोड़ा सा उनको लगता है कि थोड़ा सा प्रेस्टिजियस बैज है टोयोटा कंपेयर टू सुजुकी राइट बट दैट इज एब्सोल्युटली हॉगवॉश
अरे वो तो छोड़ो इससे बड़ी बकचोदी तो ये इन लोगों की बोलते हैं कि इसकी बिल्ड क्वालिटी बेटर होगी अर्टिगा से लोग तो ये भी बोलते हैं दैट ग्लैंजा इज बिल्ट बेटर देन दी बलेनो जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द टोयोटा बैच
but jabki it is not that true. It is not true. It is the same thing, same sheet metal, same color, same thing underneath, just the logos and the few cosmetics are different. Now if a Glanza has that carbon fiber bullhorn onto its front bumper and they are calling it inspired by the TRD or the turds that have been made into that design thing, it doesn't mean that you make a fool of the public and start selling whatever the trash you can sell. Now, even if you see the Glanza has a lot of differentiating factor from the Baleno. Alloy wheels are different and grill, bumper, these things are different, right? But then the Rumian is a joke. I mean, I don't know. It is a big joke.
I mean,
नहीं भाई Toyota is a system for them. System.
ये टोयोटा और मारुति का सिस्टम है सिस्टम हैंग कर दिया उन्होंने ऑटो इंडस्ट्री का
सिस्टम पार देंगे
तो बेसिकली टोयोटा क्यों लोगों के मन में ये इमेज क्यों आ रही है फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बिकॉज टोयोटा हैड दैट इमेज ऑफ मेकिंग गुड एंड सेफ व्हीकल्स ठीक है बट आई जस्ट वांटेड टू मेक इट वेरी क्लियर दैट बोथ जितनी भी टोयोटा रिबैच प्रोडक्ट्स है चाहे वो बलिनो हो चाहे क्या नाम है ये फ्रॉन्क्स होगी या अर्बन क्रूजर ग्रैंड विटारा होगी दे आर मेड ऑन द सेम असेंबली लाइंस लास्ट में जाके उनकी सप्लाई हो जाती है ठीक है एक ही असेंबली लाइन पर बन रही है देयर इज एब्सोल्युटली नो डिफरेंस इन BIWs एंड कुछ भी कह लो ठीक है सो वो चीज़ टोयोटा का जब बैज लग जाता है तो वो लोगों के मन में थोड़ा बहुत फर्क डाल देता है आई थिंक पीपल विल गेट अवेयर विथ टाइम वॉट एवर टोयोटा इज डूइंग अब यहाँ पर दो चीज़ें ईदर इट इज शोइंग टोयोटाज inability to make and sell good small vehicles in India या तो ये मारुति की बहुत ज़्यादा वो दिखा रहा है so what's your opinion on this
ऐसा नहीं कि टोयोटा छोटी गाड़ी बना के नहीं बेच सकता हाँ वो इटियोस जैसी घटिया इंटीरियर देंगे तो फिर कहाँ से पब्लिक लेगी इंडियन पब्लिक को वैल्यू चाहिए उनको इंटीरियर दिखने में अच्छा लगना चाहिए टच एंड फील अच्छा होना चाहिए बट इटियोस तो डे वन से ऐसी बनाई थी जैसे टैक्सी ग्रेड के लिए गाड़ी बनाई हो
बट इटियोस के साथ एक पॉजिटिव था उसका ये पॉजिटिव था कंपेयर टू ऑल अदर ओला कैब्स एंड उबर कैब्स जो आज चल रही है इन लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल स्विफ्ट डिजायर वैगनआर्स एंड ऑल the Etios and Etios Liva both were way more reliable than these Marutis and Hyundai cabs. Okay. Go and speak to drivers. They'll say कि यार मतलब 1,00,000-2 लाख किलोमीटर हो गए. Even if it's a diesel, it's running well. I mean, quite smooth. कुछ ज़्यादा parts change नहीं है. The problem was they haven't considered updating it with time. लैग ऑफ फीचर्स, डिजाइन अच्छा नहीं था, वो चीज पे अगर वो काम कर लेते तो लाइक आई वुड बाय वन फॉर माई सेल्फ. बट तो टोयोटा ने स्मॉल सेगमेंट में उतना ध्यान दिया नहीं. एंड उनका जो इनोवा क्रिस्टा एंड फॉर्च्यूनर वाला सेगमेंट है वो खुद ही इतना ज़्यादा आज भी, इवन इफ फॉर्च्यूनर विल कॉस्ट यू अराउंड 60 लाख के समथिंग पे, तो you'll go and buy it happily. I'm not me and Siddharth Bhaiya and you, but people who live in that hype. यार it's a Fortuner, they'll avoid Mercedes एक बार को, they'll avoid कोई बढ़िया गाड़ी. बट बिकॉज फॉर्च्यूनर हैज दैट डोमिनेंस इन दैट मार्केट, हाँ वो ठीक है, वो फॉर्च्यूनर जाकर खरीद लेंगे, 50 लाख की कर दो, 60 लाख की कर दो. यही चीज टोयोटा फेल हो गया करने में स्मॉल सेगमेंट में. दैट्स अ वेरी क्लियर स्टेटमेंट व्हिच आई एम मेकिंग. टोयोटा फेल टू मेक एन इम्प्रेशन इन मास मार्केट सेगमेंट या छोटी गाड़ियों वाले सेगमेंट. जो उन्होंने कोशिश की थी विथ इटियोस एंड इटियोस लीवा वाज गुड, एंड वो दोनों ही बहुत रिलायबल और अच्छे प्रोडक्ट्स थे. बट अगेन बिकॉज ऑफ लैक ऑफ फीचर्स, नॉट अपडेटिंग देयर डिजाइन, उसकी वजह से मुझे लगता है वो फेल हो गए.
The worst thing about the Liva and the ETOs, there are quite a lot of things to dislike about it. Firstly, you don't want to buy 10 lakh rupee car with a single wiper. Number one. Number two, the headlights were very 80s. Number three, if you look at the dashboard, that speedometer, which looked like a bright half moon arc raising out of a volcanic mountain, that gave us a very harsh reality about the brutal cost cutting that the car had, right? Number four, if you look at the seat fabric was sourced from some local garbage store, which had absolutely worst quality design fabric. Obviously, they updated it later with that beige interior, but the earlier ones were absolutely gibberish, right? And then when you talk about the steering wheel, fuzzy flat bottom steering wheel दे करके आप sporty नहीं बना सकते गाड़ी को. They even had a body kit on the Liva, on the VX models of the Liva. They tried to jazz it up. They even got I think Virat Kohli was a brand ambassador, if I'm not mistaken, for that vehicle.
Yes,
And
that
then
Bakulanki ad was there.
and then you're saying you live tomorrow today, and then not even giving base some base features. The radio was absolutely shit. Even it didn't even have a seat height adjustment. I mean, what were they trying to do? They were trying to do too many things at one time, so obviously it backfired. The diesel, somewhat it was successful because they gave safety features on the mid-level variant also. But then it was not an upscale car, right? So that is why it tanked off. But then they sold the car for a good 9 years in the market before they replaced it with this Glanza and Urban Cruiser and all this crap things that you see here around in the Toyota showroom. So there was a comment, someone who asked, is it worth extra spending over Safari for Meridian? Is Meridian food in terms of driving dynamics, etc., whatever it is?
Good.
I would say that the Meridian is a big joke. It's not worth it. Firstly, the Meridian has become much more expensive by about 3.5 lakh rupees recently. Secondly, the Meridian has no USP, to be honest, right? If I'm spending 35 lakhs on a Meridian, I don't want to be seen driving a 170 bhp engine, which is just a Jeep Compass with 2 extra seats and with a very poor service network and with not even any unique feature that the vehicle has, right? I would rather consider getting an XUV 700, to be honest, which feels at least worth twice the price for half the price that they are selling it at. And if you're talking about the engineering, see, the Meridian is already based on the Compass, which is already a 6-year-old product in the market. The Meridian doesn't have any kind of charm, to be honest. It even looks like if you see the design, it just looks like a hearse. I mean, like what a hearse van looks like. So it doesn't even look good, to be honest. It is one of the biggest disappointments from Jeep I've seen in recent times. They could have given the 1.3 Firefly petrol engine. They could have given it the 4xe technology. They could have marketed the vehicle properly with all these things. But
नहीं
then Jeep is
1.3
just like
फायरफ्लाई क्यों देना 1.3 फायरफ्लाई क्यों देना जब ये कंपस में 2 लीटर का इंजन आ रहा है बाहर के मार्केट्स में एंड दैट 2 लीटर इंजन इज एक्चुअली बीइंग असेंबल्ड इन इंडिया एंड कार ऑफ
but
दैट
then the
साइज
first
एक्चुअली
part,
नीड्स दैट 2 लीटर जीएबी
see, Stellantis India has been run by a bunch of jokers. Okay, it was always. If you see Citroen, many of these so-called media people, they are trying to defend the C3 Aircross, saying it's going to be price cheap. But you tell me one thing, that C3 Aircross, it does not have auto-folding mirrors, leave alone having automatic AC or cruise control or sunroof. The basic like auto-folding mirrors which is present in a Celerio, it is not there on the C3 Aircross. What kind of gibberish product planning is being done by Citroen? And
नहीं
nobody really cares if it has a turbo
सिट्रन ने
petrol, and nobody even cares if it has a 6 speed. They don't even have an automatic. You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to make a premium version of the Renault Triber. I wouldn't even consider that to be in the SUV. Going by the looks of it, it just looks more like a premium version of the Renault Triber. I mean, they're just trying to become somewhat upscale version of Renault that they're selling. The C3 looks like a more upscale version of the Quid, and the C3 Aircross looks like a more upscale version of the Triber. So I don't see that vehicle to be selling well. And last month's dispatches, if you see, it's hardly 383 units of all the three models. So it is a disaster for Citroen, and they are opening new dealerships. I don't know what kind of carrot or caveat they're trying to show to the entrepreneurs who are investing or trying to attract by asking them to invest crores on a dealership for products that they may not sell well in the market. In fact, there's nothing exciting from Citroen, to be honest. Okay, if you like engineering, okay, you can consider. But then today we are living in 2023. In 2023, I wouldn't going to buy a car just for the engine and gearbox. I want to have some premium features also. I already have. We already have been living 30 years behind Europe when it comes to tech and features. So mostly, if you see, Indian automakers are doing very good in terms of matching the engine with the features and also with the design. But Citroen has really disappointed me big time. In fact, it was one of those brands I was looking forward to when it promised a lot. The C5 Acros already looks outdated now. It doesn't have any USP. And they're coming up with supposedly a sedan, a crossover sedan, which looks like a coupe. So basically, it's going to be something like a BMW X4
it's
for
like
the
it's like the
masses.
C4X it's like the C4X
It's going to be another disappointment. So the problem with Citroen is not with they have everything they can do, but they are not willing to, they're not willing to have even put some effort onto at least giving some good equipment on the car so that they can make it sell, right? So price or no price, if price was a factor, then the India's best-selling car would be an Alto. Would be an Alto. Last month it was the Swift and the Baleno that sold the most. The car which cost north of 8 lakh rupees, the Baleno cost north of 10 lakh rupees. So customers are willing to spend some amount on the cars that can give you the upscale experience
स्विफ्ट
and
स्विफ्ट भी तो 10
features.
लाख की लोग ले ही रहे हैं
Nobody's going to buy a C3 for 10 lakh rupees, which doesn't even have some basic features like an auto dimming day night mirror or whatever you call about.
अच्छा
Coming
ये एक
back
सवाल
to
है is
हाँ
Fiat really going to enter the car space in India again or just useless hype? I think it's again useless hype. I don't find any merit in Fiat entering the Indian car space.
I think I agree to Tanmay's statement, and I would like Siddharth Bhaiya to comment on this because he is a big time Fiat owner in among three of us. So please, Siddharth Bhaiya.
Personally, I wouldn't want this company to enter into India, and there are many valid reasons for it. Number one, you're not even willing to support Jeep, which itself is a Fiat underneath. The Compass is a Fiat underneath, right? you can't just do another Datsun when your Nissan or Renault were not even doing good in the market, and then you had the Datsun, which was a disaster. Now, Fiat, if they consider to launch, please don't waste time. Please don't waste any kind of energy into it, because there is no relevant cars for India that they can get it. Firstly, if you talk about the right-hand drive market, in the right-hand drive market, they only have the 500 electric and the 600 electric that is going to come. If they plan to enter the electric segment, then okay, it can stand a chance, right? Maybe as a premium electric brand, if you're talking about. But if you're planning to go mass market, then it is a waste of time. It is a waste of everything, I would say. They
No, but
fucked up.
no, knowing Fiat, they will enter, and they will enter with the Fiat Pulse. I'm 100% sure they will not enter in the EV space right now.
See, the Pulse will not have the right-hand drive variant, to be honest. It is more of a Brazilian, South American product. It's not even in sale in Asia and Europe. Pulse is not going to be coming here anytime soon. And if you look at the Pulse, it is already a dead on arrival product, because that is not a product which has anything Fiat written onto it. It looks more like a typical Asian car with which already looks dated. So it is one of the most stupid looking cars ever I've seen. In fact, there is also an Abarth variant of the Pulse that they're selling in the market. Plus, there is also a crossover coupe version of the Pulse, which has the powered by Abarth version, right? There's nothing really exciting to consider until and unless you look at the 500 or the 600, right? Or maybe even the Topolino that they've just unveiled. So these three cars are what Fiat stands for. A good retro progressive Italian design plus technology. But the problem here is not with the brand. The problem here is with the baggage. How many attempts Fiat had did in the past, and the public given them how many chances? The Uno came in, the Uno got a record number of bookings, they fucked it up. The Palio came in, the Palio 2 had some good number of bookings. In fact, they sold 50,000 cars in first year. That's not a joke. They fucked it up after 1 year, and then they joined with Tata. They launched the Linea Punto. It did good, but then just after they came in Tata in 2006, right? Seven. So 6 years after their alliance, they again ditched Tata, and then they again went separate, right? So when they went separate, that was when their downfall really began. So they didn't have any roadmap to show to the dealership. By the time they went separate, it was already 6 years old or 4 years old, too late into the market, right? The Linea and Punto was already a bit dated, and they never really they updated the car before 2014. But then 2014 was too late for the company to even consider. They were to get Jeep, but then they took 3 years to get Jeep into the market, and then it has been a downfall. So uh, they are only surviving selling engines which they were doing before, plus the plant making the Tata Nexon, plus whatever they're not even exporting much, to be honest, which they used to do to RHD markets. So it's all in a doldrum. You may run Stellantis as a very big parental organization, considering the market capital that you have and the brands. See, Stellantis was basically a gamut of struggling brands. So GM dumped whatever the kind of rubbish they could do. They dumped Opel, they dumped Vauxhall, they dumped your uh, Holden, Saab, Saturn, everything, everything that was there, and they dumped everything to FCA and the PSA, right? So they picked up all these pieces of trash and they made Stellantis. So if you start looking at Stellantis has a lot of synergies that they can do, but the problem is that they're taking too much of time, and they're still not considering India to be a priority market. Whereas the amount of speed, the amount of aggression that Koreans have been doing, they are updating their products very frequently. In fact, they are not even afraid of experimenting. Hyundai knew that the Eon would fail. Hyundai knew that the Santro would fail. But then when it came out with the Exter, so Exter is already a very late product in the life cycle. So it is basically on a 4-year-old Grand i10 Neos, right? So they may be milking out that platform, but look at the response it has received. They claim to have received 50,000 bookings, which is not a joke, to be honest. So it's a serious threat to the Tata Punch. despite the fact that you would agree that Exter is one of the ugliest looking vehicles on the soil. I mean, it look like a toy car, a disproportionate
No,
toy car from every
all,
angle.
all, all Hyundais in recent times have been looking ugly. So there's no
So,
two ways
but then
about it.
Indians are known to buy quirky and whatever you know you throw at them. Indians going to buy it. Even going by the sales of MG Comet, a Comet being a unconventional three-door car for 10 lakh rupees. Last month they dispatched about 1100 units, which is quite okay for that kind of a product.
But then
Uh,
see, the thing with the Comet is that the Comet serves the purpose of urban mobility. There's no purpose as such with the Hyundai Exter. It's a typical mainstream car that has to be sold alongside the Punch, and the Punch definitely looks way better than the Exter. Well, all Hyundais
yeah, they
they really look
call
shit in front of other competitors. If I were to really put
The
it
the
in
recently unveiled Hyundai कौन सी थी Palisade?
Varna,
No, no, no. अरे जो भी
Santa
globally
Fe, Santa Fe.
oh sorry. हाँ, the recently unveiled Santa Fe and उसका rear look. Now you just
उसका
look
रेयर
at it and
उसका
think, oh,
रियर
what
क्या
the fuck is
उसका
this, bro?
रियर क्या उन्होंने किया क्या है उन्होंने क्या कहते हैं साइड से डिफेंडर को कॉपी मारा है सामने से फोर्ड फ्लेक्स को कॉपी मारा है पीछे को क्या कहते हैं जैसे तैसे करके जोड़ जाड़ के बना के रख दिया
it looks
So
it
Hyundai
looks very polarizing, and the back looks very rubbish with the pro. But then again, you see they're taking big risk with the design, and the risk is rewarding them. If you look at the sales figures globally, Hyundai is, I think, among the top three automakers in the world now. So public is accepting their designs, even though it means that they are not really wanting to keep that design lasting for more than 5 years, because every 5 years they change the complete product. That is their norm, and because they sell so much, they have enough profits. They even see a company that is operating the world's biggest integrated automobile manufacturing facility in the world, in Ulsan, Korea. For them, throwing out whatever you can do, it doesn't make any difference. For a company that has made India its independent subsidiary by, and also they have their own office in Gurgaon. Own means own. It is not even government property. They purchased the land for a handsome amount and made their own office, right? So they're free to make independent decisions and do whatever they want to do. And even whether it succeeds or it fails, it doesn't matter to them, to be honest. As long as the Creta and the Venue and the Alcazar is giving them the moolah, the RBI printing machine that we call it, the profits. Uh, it doesn't really matter to them, because they are a very cash rich company, to be honest. And with just three brands, Hyundai, Kia and Genesis, they are giving tough competition to Stellantis, which has 14 brands, out of which only one is selling, rest of them are not selling. And ironically, the one that is selling the most is Fiat. So half of their sales is coming from Fiat. And yet in the Indian market, they're not taken Citroen or Jeep very seriously. And then you have Kia, which is doing good. In fact, the Seltos facelift is doing very good in the market. आप पहले महीने में देखो, it is there on the roads. And then even Mahindra and Tata. So Mahindra picked up very aggressively in the last month. Mahindra had sold their highest ever volumes. Silent, if you talk about the Bolero, the Scorpio, and the Thar, they're selling like crazy. In fact, the XUV 700 saw increased sales.
hmm,
So in the mid segment SUV, the Mahindra has got his monopoly virtually in the ladder frame segment, in the mid segment of the monocoque, on the like on you, and even on the two-door lifestyle category. Uh, Jimny is not even coming close to the Thar, no matter what Maruti says, no matter what people say. But then their segment is a monopoly, to be honest. So Mahindra is specialized in that segment, and they are doing good, to be honest, which is the necessary for the landscape to be active. And then you see a lot of players in the you have Nissan, you have Renault, you have Skoda, Volkswagen, Jeep, Citroen. They all make up for the rest of the 50% of the market, right? So it's not that they are not present, but the problem is that they are present, but with a very bleak future, or maybe they are not having any vision on how to operate in the Indian car market. Honda had a lot of chances, but then if you see the Elevate is something which is going to sell, but not something like a Creta is selling. Maximum, I would say 3,000 is what I'm expecting. In fact, their internal target for first year is 40,000 units, domestic and export. So how they're going to manage it, that is something only Honda knows about it, and it is this lame approach. It is reflecting on the final product. See, they already know that the city is now over for them. For the past 2-3 months, it is being outsold by not only Varna, the Virtus and Slavia also. So the Honda is very well aware that city is not going to sell too long, so they have to get the Elevate as quick into the market as possible. So Elevate is going to take away sales from the city. To be honest, it is so city customer. It is basically a Honda City on stilts. So that is what the Elevate is. Same engine, same platform, the same features, nothing extra over the city. In fact, even the ADAS is same, the lane watch camera is same. Even but then there are certain clientele which want a simple, no nonsense product without the gizmos, and for them, the Elevate makes a lot of sense, especially for
Yeah,
the older people, to be honest.
I think it's a
ओल्डर
positive
पर क्या
thing for
लोग 32
L-
33 साल की उम्र में भी क्या कहते हैं अपने टर्बो पेट्रोल बेच के क्या कहते हैं 1.5 एनए उठा रहे हैं क्योंकि अब उनको कंफर्ट प्रायोरिटाइज करनी है लाइफ में
so what I was saying कि if Elevate shares a lot of things with the Honda City, it's a good thing because Honda City was a very good, reliable product, and part sharing, of course, saves a lot of cost. And Elevate, जो कि एक ऑलरेडी प्रूवन प्रोडक्ट की इमेज लेकर आया है, will sell around like 3,000 4,000 units. Completely agreed. Now coming to Hyundai, what Hyundai is doing, if you go and analyze the sales chart, selling over 15,000 units of a vehicle every month, which costs more than 20 lakh, is not a joke. जो कि
तो
क्रेटा कर
यार
रही है.
मुझे एक बात समझ नहीं आती 20,000 यूनिट्स क्या कहते हैं जो 20 लाख वाली गाड़ी है क्रेटा का जो सबसे पॉपुलर वेरिएंट है वो तो 15 लाख का है उसको लोग 20 लाख की गाड़ी क्यों बोलते हैं मुझे तो ये बात समझ नहीं आती क्योंकि सबसे ज्यादा तो वही बिकता है मिड वेरिएंट बिकता है 15 लाख वाला 20 लाख वाली क्रेटा तो मुझे हार्डली दिखती है रोड पे
You can't make out a Creta SX with a Creta SXO because both of them have got similar features, right? अब उसमें जो S Plus model आता है, the S Plus model has got those lower 16-inch wheels. And that is what sells. But then what we are talking here about is the mix of the diesel Creta, which cost 20, and the top end petrol Creta, which cost again 18 something. Okay. And then we are talking here about their turbo तो अब आता नहीं है automatic की बात कर रहा हूँ so automatic obviously cost more than the manual so that is where the mid-level variant price touches about 18ish or 19
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah.
SX plus जो भी आता है इनका S plus SX वाला इनके variants भी इतने confusing होते हैं and then
What I
अभी
meant
इन्होंने
to say, हाँ,
adventure
it was more.
edition निकाला है
हाँ, अभी अभी निकाला है, एडवेंचर एडिशन निकाला है. एंड for Creta it is based on SX and SX optional, and for Alcazar platinum and signature optional variant पे based है. And they've also given that dual dash cam setup. I'll come to this dual dash cam वाला thing because I really wanted to discuss कि जो dual dash cam वाला जो setup है, what I think personally, this should be mandated. ठीक है, स्पेयर व्हील जैसे मैंडेटेड है ना, ये भी मैंडेटरी होना चाहिए. आई थिंक Hyundai has done a good job by offering this feature, and it should be standard in each and every model right now, because इंडिया की जो सड़कें हैं बहुत ही अनप्रिडिक्टेबल है. एंड
बताऊं इसका सबसे अच्छा इम्प्लीमेंटेशन किधर कर सकते हैं जो वो इनसाइड रियर व्यू मिरर होते हैं ना आप उसमें क्या कहते हैं वो फ्रंट रियर डैश कैम सेटअप कर दो मैंने भी अपने गाड़ी में वैसे ही सेटअप करके रखा है उसमें रिकॉर्डिंग फैसिलिटी दे दो तो उसमें क्या है वो 2-in-1 का काम कर देगा और पीछे सबको लाइव फीड भी देता रहेगा और आगे से वो क्या कहते हैं मतलब चीज़ें नोट भी करता रहेगा तो उससे क्या है मतलब इम्प्लीमेंटेशन अच्छी हो जाएगी स्ट्रीमलाइन हो जाएगी
See, I
हाँ,
already have a dual dash cam setup on my Punto Abarth and I got that done in 2021. वो तो already 2 साल पहले मैं करा चुका था ये जब ये शुरू हुआ था ना यहाँ पे सी डुअल डैश कैम सेटअप जो मेन स्ट्रीम अभी होना शुरू हुआ है 2021 पे मैंने bought the Mio's there's a brand called Mio which is made here in Noida assembled here in Noida friend का brand है तो it's a very premium looking dash cam with good level of features, ADAS, GPS, plus touch screen, plus it has the HD Sony HD lens onto it. Front and rear camera भी है, plus wiring hard wiring kit है and everything. So the way I've installed on the car, it doesn't look like an aftermarket thing at all. सारा छुपा छुपा के proper तरीके से wired out करके मैंने किया हुआ है. The only drawback with that camera is the application. The application is a bit quirky. Rest, I haven't faced a single issue till date with that cam.
I think when I was driving your Abar, तो उसमें देहरादून में तो वहाँ पर वो proper lane warnings दे रहा था.
बिल्कुल.
तो हाँ, तो वो उसका cost तो काफी ज्यादा होगा फिर.
ये 20,000 का था complete setup. तो but then it also has the TPMS provision. मतलब you can just fit an external TPMS and it's going to show that display also. So it is ready for most of the things even today. So for the next 5 to 7 years, I'm done with the tech and the updates, right? But then the reason why it should be made mandatory is because see, I'll tell you what. Mostly lot of idiots are on the road. कहीं से कोई साइकिल वाला आ जाता है, कहीं से कोई सुसाइड करने आ जाता है, कहीं से कोई गाय बैल भैंस नील गाय सांड हर कोई आ जाते हैं, कहीं से कोई एक रॉन्ग साइड का बंदा आ जाता है. So the Indian roads are filled with idiots. Like Seat used to claim that. But then these are lifesavers. When there is any crime that happens, these recordings they can be an evidence for you to prove that you are innocent. So that is what the usage of dashcam primarily is.
Yes. So क्या नाम है, डैश कैम एक चीज हो गई. एंड क्या उसके बाद Hyundai ने ये रियलाइज किया कि वॉट एवर टाटा हैज बीन डूइंग विद देयर ओन सेट ऑफ एडिशंस, बी इट फॉर सफारी, बी इट फॉर हैरियर, बी इट फॉर नेक्सॉन. सो दे रियलाइज्ड कि नहीं, मार्केट में कुछ एडिशंस आजकल काम कर रहे हैं. हेल्प्स यू टू बी इन द न्यूज, टू create a hype of that particular product. And क्या नाम है, आज की अगर ओवरऑल न्यूज की बात करें तो सिद्धार्थ भैया वाज आल्सो टॉकिंग अबाउट महिंद्रा कि Hyundai और मारुति सुजुकी तो अच्छा कर ही रहे हैं, महिंद्रा इज आल्सो डूइंग वेरी वेल. नाउ कमिंग बैक टू दिस क्वेश्चन, आई वांटेड टू पुट माय व्यूज ऑन दिस क्वेश्चन कि मेरिडियन का क्या है. तो मेरिडियन ओवर सफारी, द थिंग इज Mahindra के पास not only the XUV700, even the Scorpio and for that matter is a very capable, and both these Mahindra SUVs are really sure-footed products, be it their engineering, be it especially the engines. Meridian के साथ दिक्कत ये वही है, उनका इंजन जो है वो 170 PS वाला, it's a good engine, but ठीक है. महिंद्रा के M Stallion उनकी तो बात ही छोड़ दो. And even Mahindra का M-Hawk is way better than Multijet, because उन्होंने जो भी ट्यूनिंग करी है, जो भी इंजीनियरिंग करी है, मैं हमेशा यही बोलता हूँ कि आफ्टर TSIs, the only not 1 liter TSI, like 1.5 TSI, 2 liter TSI, मुझे महिंद्रा का M Stallion बहुत ज़्यादा पसंद है, and even M-Hawk for that matter. So महिंद्रा ने मतलब उस चीज़ को काफ़ी समझा, and they're offering it almost कितना प्राइस डिफरेंस होगा मुझे नहीं पता. एक 25 लाख की स्कॉर्पियो, नहीं 25 भी नहीं, 20 लाख की स्कॉर्पियो में भी मिल जाएगा वो इंजन आपको. एंड
28 तक की जाती है. Meridian crosses 41, 42. So the problem with Jeep is that they don't have a USP at all. And secondly, the craze of Multijet is no longer there in FCA's own fan base, because they've tuned the engine very linear. And Tata's tuning feels more aggressive in their own Harrier and Safari, mated to the Hyundai gearbox and the Land Rover chassis, right? Abhi, if I talk about Jeep as a brand, they had something that they had the Compass Trailhawk, which was a good-looking all-round vehicle, which discontinued even that also. So, which leaves them with nothing to really consider in this day and age. Until unless they get the 4XC, they get those Trailhawks, they get those Avenger also. See, Avenger is the need of the hour. It looks good. It has electric powertrains. What I'm not able to comprehend is that if Nexon EV can sell at 20 lakh rupees and your cheapest Compass is costing how much? About 25 or 24, why can't they sell an Avenger electric at 20 lakh rupees? That is what is baffling me a lot in Stellantis, right? UK में right hand drive में Avenger मिल रही है. You have the product which is ready. You have got the market that is ready for electric vehicles. You already have a base. You already have a flexible plant which can even make this vehicle. But their this lame ass approach is really discomforting as an owner of two Fiats.
I
वो
think
तो छोड़ो.
Stellantis is still learning the market trend in India. What they are doing with Jeep Compass, what they are doing with Citroen C5 Aircross,
भाई
they're
ये
just trying to
भाई
showcase that
भाई
they
ये
are
Are
बात
they
so-called
trying
premium
to
products which
learn
they are
since
not.
Are they trying to learn the same since 28 years of their presence in the market?
भाई वही समझ नहीं आ रहा. मैं तो बोलता हूँ कि बैकलॉग के साथ इंजीनियरिंग भी 6 साल में हो जाती है. ये तो 28 साल लेके बैठ गए. आदमी क्या कहते हैं 10 साल में डॉक्टर बन जाता है.
वो वही है, मैटर वही है कि सो कॉल्ड प्रीमियम इमेज बनाने की कोशिश कर रही है दोनों प्रोडक्ट्स, बीट Citroen
That has
C5
backfired a
Aircross.
lot.
It
See,
backfired.
people are buying the Invicto for 30 lakh rupees. People are buying the XUV 700 for 30 lakh rupees. People are buying the Tucson for 40 lakh rupees. तो कौन सा
Now people
प्रीमियम
are ready to
आप
pay over 25 lakh for a Tata product. ठीक है.
आप कौन
अभी
सा
सिर्फ
प्रीमियम इमेज बनाने की कोशिश कर रही हो? इफ यू आर ट्राइंग टू बिकम द स्कोडा ऑफ the Skoda of SUVs, you can't do it. Skoda का क्या सीन है? Skoda has got the muscle of Volkswagen behind it. Plus, Skoda already has earned the image of being a value luxury product. उनका जो
एंड रिच
VRS
मैन्स का
था, प्लस उनका जो
एंड रिच मैन्स का.
कोडियाक कोडियाक है, कारोक जो उनका था, Volkswagen का बैकअप है. जीप का बैकअप हैज बैकफायर्ड. उनका ग्रैंड चेरोकी भी नहीं चल रहा. उनका तो रैंगलर ऑलमोस्ट खत्म ही हो गया. रैंगलर भी कौन ले रहा है? वो फेसलिफ्ट आएगा तो कब आएगा पता नहीं. प्लस कितने लोग लेंगे पता भी नहीं है क्या उनका. प्लस देयर आफ्टर सेल सर्विस एनीवेज इज नथिंग टू राइट home about. Everyone is not even happy with the company authorized workshops. So obviously it's a dead brand to be honest. I don't consider it to be anything. Yeah, देखो, if I'm looking for a car today, we're talking about 2023. Emotions is something which goes for a toss. You cannot buy a car with an emotion today because what you're buying, when you go to dump it after 3 years, you're going to dump it after 5 years, and you're going to get a new one. So that means you want to have a car that is flashy. So it doesn't look flashy, doesn't have equipment. Engines take a secondary aspect, but then Citroen is still in their 90s. They're thinking that Indians are going to buy these second or third grade products. That is not going to happen. And the same is there with the Jeep. They don't have the powertrain strategy right in the country, which is leaning towards petrols. And then see, if you talk about Harrier and Safari say even though they have the diesels only, but then they're price cheaper. But then most of the sales of Tata, they're coming from Nexon and Punch, which has petrol, CNG, electric, diesel, everything that you can count onto it. And Harrier is coming in electric also. So that is so then the Jeep's USP is finished the time the Harrier electric comes, right? Plus you have the Altros, the Tiago, the Tigor, that is giving them much more volume. So that is how multi-powertrain strategy should work. Jeep has only two engines, a 2-liter diesel and a 2-liter petrol. The 2-liter petrol is only for their premium range of vehicles, which is not even premium at first place. If you look at the Grand Cherokee, it doesn't feel like a 85 lakh rupee vehicle at all. It looks more like a 40 or 45 lakh rupee vehicle at best. They had given India the shittiest specification that is available. Uh, they could have got the V6, they could have got the Overland model, they could have got the Trailhawk. They should launch multiple variants. If Mercedes-Benz can launch multiple variants of the G-Wagon or the GLE, why can't Jeep launch? If Jeep really wants to compete with Mercedes in GLE, they should launch multiple variants and sell them. It is not the public doesn't want the Grand Cherokee. The public wants it, but they don't find value in the product as a whole. So that is why where Jeep had lost. The earlier model had the SRT, so SRT whosoever wanted they got them. But then you don't
सेलिब्रिटीज
even
ने
have
तो
an
दबा
SRT.
दबा के उठाई थी एसआरटी. I
तब
still
SRT
remember
भी
that
आपके पास में
the likes of Saif Ali Khan and all, they went ahead and bought the SRT. Even Dhoni also got one SRT that during that time. तो ये चीज़ है. आई थिंक अब इस नोट पे हमें क्या कहते हैं एंड कर लेना चाहिए आज का पॉडकास्ट. टाइम भी काफ़ी हो रहा है, 11:25 हो रहे हैं, 50 मिनट का पॉडकास्ट भी हो गया. अब होपफुली अगले हफ्ते या फिर संडे को मिलते हैं.
Yeah,
So we'll be
sure.
meeting soon under everything. We're going to redesign everything and we're going to be under a new banner, right?
Yes.
So that's going to be a new beginning for us. And obviously, with the next podcast that we're going to do, we will be talking the grim realities of the automotive culture. So it may happen that some of our our talks will be controversial. It may happen that some of the people will not like it. Let me warn them in advance because we will be talking the grim reality that we are seeing. It should be a lesson to all those people who are coming into the automotive, automotive lexicon, who want to call themselves an enthusiast, but then either they are falling the victim of being in the wrong company or being in the wrong people's circle. So we will be not misguiding people on that, but we will be telling on what should you look out for if you really want to call yourself an enthusiast, and what is the real definition of a car enthusiast. So probably we can come maybe on a Sunday or because Independence Day is nearing by. So uh, we will be with a podcast anytime soon. So Tanmay has taken the initiative and Shreyas also. So two seasoned people will be joining, and obviously we'll be talking the realities of that. So signing off for tonight, guys. So Tanmay and Shreyas, you can continue and sign off also from your end.
Yeah, it was a great session. Thanks for having me, Tanmay, and hopefully we'll meet soon. Thank you. Bye. Good night.
Thanks a lot, guys, for joining in, and we'll continue doing podcast under a new banner, and hopefully we'll try to do some over here as well. क्योंकि अब चैनल को रीस्टार्ट किया ही है, तो फिर थोड़ा सा क्या कहते हैं यहाँ पे भी हम अगर टाइम लगा तो, क्योंकि आई विल नाउ मूव अवे टू दैट न्यू चैनल ऑफ क्लब ऑटोमोबाइल इंडिया, and the links will be shared with you guys very soon, and we'll do a fresh start over there. So I might as well just keep this channel dormant for a while. So thanks a lot for joining in, guys. If you guys like the podcast, do share it with your friends. Do comment if you feel like asking some of your questions. We'll answer them in the next podcast. And if you would like to join us in the live panel, let us know. You can just message us on the groups or wherever we have sent the links, and then we can just maybe decide to have you around here for some minutes or so. So thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for joining in. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Night.
Thank you. Bye. Good night.